All right, let's jump right in. In the incredibly fast-paced world of e-commerce, there's a war being fought every single day. And no, it's not for customers or market share. It's for something way more valuable: technical talent. Today, we're opening up the playbook on how e-commerce companies can actually win this fight.
I mean, it's a huge question, right? You need a killer strategy, you've got to know your own forces inside and out, and you have to understand the battlefield. Well, believe it or not, the exact same principles apply to the battle for talent. This isn't about getting lucky. It's all about having a solid plan.
And this is the battlefield. The e-commerce industry is just exploding, but all that growth hinges on one thing: having the right people. We're talking about the engineers, the data scientists, the developers, the folks who actually build and run the platforms that we all use every single day.
Now, this isn't just someone's opinion. You should read this as a serious warning. This quote comes directly from the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, or SASB for short. These are the people who set the standards for how companies report on major risks. And they've flagged this talent shortage not just as some HR headache, but as a real material risk that can hammer a company's bottom line. The stakes? Yeah, they're incredibly high.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to look at this new playbook, and then we'll break down 3 core strategies. First, measuring your own team's health. Then, diversifying your workforce. And finally, recruiting talent from all over the world. Then, we'll put it all together to see what it really takes to win.
So where in the world does this playbook come from? You might be surprised to hear it's from the world of sustainability reporting. But hold on, this isn't about recycling bins or carbon footprints. The framework we're using thinks about sustainability in a much bigger way. It includes the long-term health of a company's most important asset, its people.
You see, the SASB standards give companies a really clear roadmap for reporting on the kinds of risks and opportunities that investors actually care about, the stuff that can really make or break a company's financial performance. It's all about being transparent on what truly matters for lasting success.
And hidden inside the e-commerce standard is this absolute gem, a whole section dedicated to human capital. It lays out specific, measurable things that get right to the heart of the talent war. This, right here, is our playbook. It's a guide for turning a massive risk into a game-changing competitive advantage.
All right, let's get into our first strategy: know your army. It's an old saying, but it's true. You can't manage what you don't measure. Before you have any hope of winning the war for talent, you need a super clear picture of the health and morale of the team you already have.
So the first key metric is employee engagement. And listen, this isn't just some fluffy, feel-good number. It's a hard metric pulled from actual surveys that tells you exactly what percentage of your workforce is genuinely fired up and committed to the company's goals. An engaged team, well, that's a productive and innovative team.
Next up is turnover. But here's the critical part. The standard makes you separate voluntary turnover, meaning people who choose to leave, from involuntary. And that distinction is huge because each number tells a completely different story about what's going on inside your company.
And here's exactly why those metrics are so important. Think about it. Companies spend a fortune on benefits, right? From huge salaries to flexible schedules and free lunches. By tracking engagement and turnover, you can finally start to measure if all that money is actually paying off in better retention and productivity.
Okay, moving on to our second strategy. A modern army isn't just one type of soldier, right? Its strength comes from having all kinds of different skills and perspectives. The exact same thing is true for a world-class tech workforce. To win, you have to diversify your forces.
And the SASB standard makes the business case for this crystal clear. Diversity isn't just about being fair, it's a direct engine for innovation. When you get people with different backgrounds in a room, they attack problems from different angles. That's how you avoid groupthink and unlock brilliant creative solutions. Plus, they're much better at understanding a global customer base.
And the standard demands real, hardcore transparency. This isn't about making a vague promise to do better. Companies are expected to report hard data, just like in this table showing gender representation. But it's not just about the total numbers. The real story is in the breakdown.
See, this is the crucial part. You can't just report one big number for the whole company and call it a day. The standard forces you to break it down by seniority and role. Is your leadership team diverse? What about your core technical teams, the people building the product? This data forces an honest conversation about where the real gaps are.
Now, for our third strategy, it's all about bringing in reinforcements.
When the talent pool in your own country is running dry, you have to look further. It's time to recruit globally. But as you can probably guess, this brings a whole new set of challenges to the table. So this next metric is pretty simple, but it tells you a lot. It measures what percentage of your technical staff needs a work visa to be there. It's basically a single number that shows how much you rely on global talent, which is a key part of your recruiting strategy.
And this slide really lays out the strategic trade-off perfectly. The opportunity is massive, right? You get to tap into a worldwide talent pool and just supercharge your innovation. The risk, though, is also pretty big. You're suddenly dealing with incredibly complex and constantly changing immigration laws. Managing that risk is everything.
So, we've covered a lot of ground. What does winning this war actually look like? What's the victory condition we should all be aiming for?
Here it is, your strategic playbook, boiled down to 3 essential moves. First, you have to measure your internal health with real data on engagement and turnover. Second, you build a truly diverse team, from the interns to the CEO to spark innovation. And third, you strategically recruit the best people from all over the world while being smart about the risks.
Ultimately, the big takeaway is this. Looking at these SASB metrics isn't just a boring reporting exercise. It's a powerful strategic tool. Following this playbook helps you build a workforce that's more engaged, more innovative, and way more resilient to the brutal competition out there.
Which really leaves us with one final question for you to think about. In this never-ending war for talent, is your organization just plugging holes and reacting to people quitting? Or is it proactively building the one thing your competitors can't just go out and buy? A true, sustainable competitive advantage built on its people.